Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 7 of season 2 of our F125 My Team Career mode. Yes, we return this weekend here to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a couple of days ago from Imola, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We had a fairly interesting race. It was a race of two halves from the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, but obviously, with Monaco not on the calendar this season, we head straight over to Barcelona. Yes, we've almost caught up and lapped Formula 1 IRL so far this campaign. A massive thank you to all of you for the continued support on this series as well. You know, we're trying to close in on 150,000 subs right now, so if you are enjoying this series, please do make sure you hit that sub button. As you can see, in terms of the performance chart, we have now jumped past Haas. We are well and truly kind of a proper midfield runner at the moment, and Yuki Tsunoda almost scored points last weekend, so I'm going to continue running as Isaac Hadjar for now inside this series, because maybe, just maybe, Tsunoda is going to be able to get some points in the other car as well. Of course, if you're enjoying this series and you want to show us just a little bit of extra support, you can click that join button as well down below. It costs just £1 a month. You get early access to all the videos, as well as a couple of other exclusive little perks. I've gone through, I've updated the list. As you can see, there's a lot on there now on the YouTube, so a massive thank you to all of you for the continued support. But yeah, without further ado then, let's return here to Barcelona, and let's hope that we can look after the the left-hand side tyres.
It's a Catalonian qualifying for you today. Welcome along to Spain, to Barcelona, and wherever you are in the world, do you feel the need? The need for speed?
Well, I'm going to try and be a little bit strategic then as we make our way back out onto the circuit. I want to make sure that we get out there so we've got enough time that if I mess up this first run, that we can try and go for it again. Normally, I aim to be the last car on a qualifying run, but just don't really want to risk it this weekend here. George Russell currently is a second clear of anybody that isn't his teammate Oscar Piastri. Both Mercedes down into the 109s, but Russell, if he can just emulate that lap he's already done in Q3, will probably take pole position here. I mean, he's 6 tenths clear of Oscar Piastri as well, but immediately you can just see finding a little bit more time by the time we get through the top of the hill. Already 3 tenths up here. Come on. This has got to just give us a good benchmark ready for Q2. Half a second up then, and it should be this final sector where we notice an even bigger advantage as well, as long as the tyres don't fall apart here, or a little bit of a wobble. So try and get the power down, but I mean, look at this, 8 tenths of a second up. By the time we get down in towards the final few corners, the pace here is utterly ridiculous at the moment, as the cars are just getting quicker and quicker towards the end of qualifying. 8.5 tenths up. That'll put us only P12, actually. So, if the track is ramping up, we might still end up being in trouble. Well, there we are. As you can see, George Russell there, 6 tenths still clear of anybody else by the end of Q1. Verstappen in P3, just ahead of Liam Lawson, who's done a very good job. Ferrari, they look to be struggling a little bit more here than I think we were expecting. But we will make it through. Annoyingly, Tsunoda won't. But yeah, Paul Aaron making it through into Q2, just ahead of both Williams cars. Looks like Alpine and Aston Martin are going to be our big rivals today. Well, once again then, I don't think we're going to have the pace to see ourselves into Q3, so I'm just going to go out for one run right towards the end of Q2. Okay, if we make it through, well then I guess we've got an extra set of soft compound tyres that we can take with us into the Grand Prix. And if we don't make it through, well then I guess we've got an extra set of soft compound tyres that we can take through into the Grand Prix then. Let's just try and go for one big lap of anger. I need to be in the 1 minute 10s if I want to see it through. Top time now, Oscar Piastri on a 109.2. We could genuinely see 108s around this circuit by the end of qualifying. That is ridiculous for a circuit like Barcelona. I don't know what it is about the games, but this track is ridiculously quick there. It's just trying to use a little bit of battery up over the top of the circuit. Of course, we've got no real delta to chase anymore. This is all based on feel. So we just get the back end stepping out ever so slightly through the exit of turn 4. Nice and tidy on the throttle as we plunge down the hill now. Ollie Behrman, he's going to be our benchmark time there of a 150.01. Up the hill, in towards Cancer, completely flat out. Just be careful of that curbing on the inside there. I see it throws us wide ever so slightly. So try and carry the speed down in towards this final sector. 3 tenths down now on Liam Lawson, who's been put into the drop zone. So will we be able to find any more time there? Leave the car in 4th gear. Just allows you to carry the speed off of the turn. And then leave the ERS wide open through these final few corners there. 7th gear completely flat out through the bump. Open up that ERS. P15 in the end on a 111.1. There was next to nothing else I could get out of that. And there we go, Oscar Piastri, that 109.2, just furthering that benchmark lower and lower in this qualifying. Again, it is your big 5 teams there. Williams looks to have got their act together and will get both cars into Q3. P15, a little bit disappointed. We are a little bit higher up the order. But I think we're starting to get to the point in career mode where the AI, they're starting to get quicker than they should be the faster the cars go.
Welcome along, everyone, to sunny Spain, specifically to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. So many great moments in Formula One history have been written at this very track over the years, including Michael Schumacher's first win for Ferrari back in '96. That win was in the rain. We might have better weather here today, but we're just as overjoyed to be at the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and the popular opinion in the paddock is that we never wanted the chicane in the first place. That's now been gone, the final corner is much faster, and at 2.9 miles and 14 turns, we await the Spanish Grand Prix. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Carlos Sainz and Ocon, Gasly, Albon, Colapinto and Ollie Behrman, Piastri, Lawson, Lance Stroll, Doohan, Hadja, Aaron, Pepe Marti and Yuki Tsunoda, Antonelli, Crawford, Hulkenberg and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Well, here we are then down on the grid, ready for the Spanish Grand Prix here at Barcelona. A few grid penalties for other drivers, but we still line up in P15 here. And I think today, I said in qualifying I wanted to bring an extra set of softs into the Grand Prix, so we're going to attempt to do the 2-stop here. Tyre management is not particularly fun around this circuit, so we'll see how far the softs can go, and I'm going to select to start the race before I can regret it. Most cars opting for mediums, the 5 red lights are on. It's going to be lights out, and away we go then there, and not able to use my slightly softer tyres to give myself an advantage on the run in towards turn 1. The AI have now been patched inside this game, so they are meant to be better off the starts, but I always thought it just made it a little bit more entertaining at the start of Grand Prix here. As you can see, those Aston Martins of Lawson and Stroll wheel to wheel just in front. Whoa, as we get a huge snap trying to use the curbing through the inside of turn 3 there. No idea how we kept that out of the wall, but we also gain a place on Lance Stroll as well. So straight up into 13th then off the start. I think I can see Oscar Piastri on a set of the medium, soft compound tyres as well there, just up in front. It looks like Verstappen has claimed an early lead here, just ahead of George Russell then. So Russell, of course, his main title rival in Lando Norris early on this season. So might not be too worried about the Dutchman. I don't believe, Red Bull's still yet to win a race so far. It has all been Mercedes and Ferrari there, but can the multiple world champion build up a bit of a gap early on? Maybe he's also on softs, so he's got to try and get out the DRS range nice and quickly. I don't want to jump to conclusions too early in this Grand Prix, but it's taken 3 laps and already the soft compound tyre starting to feel a little bit like jelly here.
1.9 seconds.
280 miles an hour temporarily then on the run in towards turn 1, but yeah, Lawson and Ollie Behrman, they're just too far ahead of me. Can't help but feel the Aston Martins could be a threat for points still this afternoon, as already Franco Colapinto, I believe that is, struggling to keep up with the rest of your top 10. That's going to be our goal if we can get ahead of him today. Oh, we've got yellows, that's a Sauber, I believe. Breaking down further behind. Is it Bortoleto? Is it Hulkenberg? No, it's not. It's an Alpine that's gone.
Okay, and
we've got a red flag then.
Keep the delta positive, and let's have you straight into the pit lane, please.
That works out fantastically. Effectively, we've used the advantage that the soft compound tyre had, and now we can go back to an orthodox one-stop strategy here. I'm going straight on a set of mediums for the second stint.
Essentially a free stop, so let's think very carefully about our strategy for the rest of this race.
I mean, if the mediums can go 14 laps, then we could do 14-14. Why on earth does the game suddenly think I could do 13 laps on a set of hards, no matter how much I'm already... on a set of softs even, no matter how much I'm already struggling with them? But let's get ready to race once again then. The AI are all on softs now! What is this? As 5 red lights are on again. And lights out and away we go there. This time round I can't expect us to get off to a particularly good start, and Lance Stroll and Paul Aaron are immediately going to try and capitalise on the run in towards turn 1. Can we find an avenue around the outside there just to recover back to where we were? It looks like we can. And surely the AI now aren't going to be able to make that strategy work, because Albon getting jumped by Liam Lawson off the restart as well, and he's also on the medium compounded tyre this time. Has no idea where Lawson's going. How on earth are we into the points here? We just kind of ended up in the right place at the right time there. There's wheel to wheel still with the Aston Martin off of the corner, but I'm not going to complain then about that restart, especially now if the AI are going to struggle on those softer compound tyres quite quickly. Again, Verstappen, his only goal is to run away off of the start once more, but yeah, we're in a good spot. Well, this is a very, very risky strategy by Franco Colapinto early on. He's just trying to get me out of the DRS range here, but annoyingly, I think it's worked for him. The Williams man, they're breaking free of that slipstream here, and now here comes Liam Lawson as well, trying to get a run behind us. Is he going to be able to make the move happen back into towards turn 1? Yes, he will. So unless Lawson can stick with Colapinto, he might have bolted free again. How are their soft compound tyres doing so much better than mine? But we should safely make it through to the end of 19. I think we're going to be good on that one. So we've got a safety car. What's happened now?
Make sure to keep it positive.
Well, there we go then. That's what's happened. Carlos Sainz there's gone for a spin, slapped the inside wall, and is out of the Grand Prix. So the one home race driver here is out of it.
You're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
I'm going to tell the team we want to box now for a set of hard compound tyres, but will the AI pit? Well, this is going to be an interesting moment of truth time then. Looks like none of our front runners diving into the pit lane there, but as we try and make our way through, Colapinto and Liam Lawson are going to dive into the pit lane then in this Grand Prix there, as I thought about trying to get a run on Lawson somehow, but not able to do that. Lance Stroll as well into the pit lane here, but very, very weird that considering pretty much everybody's on softs, that a lot of them aren't deciding to pit. Really interested to see what strategy they're going to go on to then, as Colapinto is going to be on a set of soft compound tyres again.
Fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres.
This is a very, very peculiar race early on. The fact we've already had a red flag and a safety car, and I had nothing to do with either of them, and the AI are apparently adamant they're sticking to soft compound tyres, I'm hoping we can take hards to the flag, but it's not going to be easy. Well, there we are then. A very, very quick safety car here as well, so clearly the Carlos Sainz cleanup has been sorted nice and quickly, but Verstappen again then trying to get this race underway there, and is he going? Nope, the AI just kind of constantly running up. That kind of accordion effect that you see there playing full effect as through the final corner. It has allowed us to get a lot closer to Franco Colapinto than I would have been. 20 laps on hard seems like it's going to be a very tall order to get them through to the end of the afternoon, but now we're going to have a few cars that are going to be on some quite worn out rubber here. 7 laps on a set of soft compound tyres. I know they've had a few of those laps under safety car, but they are still not going to be very fun, annoyingly. Obviously, fresh softs versus fresh hards as well. We saw this for Verstappen a few weeks ago. There's just no defence against these guys. Lawson will make it through. Just got to try and stay out of trouble here and wait for the advantage to come our way. As Verstappen, this is probably the first time he hasn't really been able to extend a huge lead over the Ferraris, but he is once again building a little bit of a buffer. Go. Trying to get a run then, trying to do the old up and under on Liam Lawson. Not quite able to make that one happen, and we've just got to start pushing the envelope a little bit here, starting to work out where the grip is, where the confidence is, as I'm still not entirely sure these hard tyres will make it to the end of the afternoon. They seem to be hanging on alright at the moment. But I'm certainly not fully convinced, you know, without a little bit of effort, try and look after them here. It's almost 220 miles an hour down in towards someone. As Colapinto tries to find a way around Ollie Behrman, we try and attack the curbing through turn 2 and turn 3, see if we can get a run on Liam Lawson. I mean, the car is swiveling around in the dirty air as Lawson will try and sit just a little bit defensive. Around the outside, though, we'll go. But we've just got to do this super carefully.
Nice, keep going. Okay, box, box, box. We're adjusting the strategy. Come in this lap. Box, box, box.
No, Mark. No, we will not. No idea what he's smoking this afternoon to think that would be a worthwhile strategy. With Antonelli there barely hanging on. Oh, inside the DRS. I mean, what is that little move in the braking zone there? Not a fan of that one. But you can definitely see the amount of extra grip we have. I guess we have got to really try and work with Colapinto at the moment. But if there's an opportunity to get a jump on the Williams man, I've got to try and go for it. Liam Lawson, I mean, he's now found a way around Kimi Antonelli and is immediately rocked back up to my gearboxes. There we go. AI now starting to peel into the pit lane. There's Jack Doohan there, slots out a line and into the pits. What tyres are they going on to then? Mediums for most of them by the looks of it. But we're going to have a big jump on all of these guys. Colapinto, can he get a run on Pepe Marti back in towards turn 1? I feel like we could be in for one of those races where it's just a very depressing, slow drop down the field towards the end. But we'll have to wait and see. It's just getting a little bit sketchy through turn 3. I did forget, of course, this is Pepe Marti's home race as well, so he'll have to be running up inside the top 10 for now. Colapinto, he didn't commit to it. He did not commit there to the run on Pepe Marti. I thought we might just be able to get the wheels up the inside of Colapinto there. You can kind of trick the AI inside this game into those little mistakes from time to time. There you go. Pepe Marti into the pit lane then, and Colapinto, he's still going to have some DRS, but he's not going to have any slipstream. As Franco Colapinto and Williams then will lead the Spanish Grand Prix here at Barcelona. 221 miles an hour that time. And for the second time today, we're going to get a big dive bomb on him down at turn 1. You can see now, I mean, Lawson up to P3, Jack Crawford up to P4. And there's still a bit of a gap back there, as I think both Ferraris have jumped Verstappen. But can we take these tyres 13 more laps? I'm not feeling particularly confident about it. There we go, Colapinto into the pit lane then. I can only assume Liam Lawson as well then. So, I mean, we're not going to have any chance to breed anyway, because Leclerc and Norris are right there. Verstappen 4.4 seconds back. Stroll's still just trying to hang on out there as well, but he's going to be in at the end of this lap, I would assume. But yeah, I mean, even if we could just stick with the Ferraris, it's optimistic, I know, but that could work out wonderfully. There we go, then with 10 laps to go. At least we've led a few here in this Grand Prix, but we're definitely holding up the AI way more than I thought we were, as Lance Stroll into the pit lane as well. Here comes Charles Leclerc, and probably Lando Norris as well, on the run in towards someone. Those Ferraris are almost flying formation in towards that first corner, unless they start battling with each other a lot more. I mean, we lost near enough 3 seconds to Piastri and Verstappen that last lap. But I'm kind of looking at the Williams. They're my goal. Right, come on then. Here goes Oscar Piastri as well then. And probably Max Verstappen on the run in towards turn 1. So we definitely can't even stick inside the DRS range of the cars in front of me. But what I do know is that their advantage will get slimmer and slimmer every single lap. World Championship leader George Russell having a bit of a nightmare here, so I think Lando Norris, he will likely retake the lead of the World Championship as things stand. But Gasly, yeah, as well, that McLaren doing a really good job. But it's almost impressive just how quickly we've kind of faded back into mediocrity and the mid-pack in this Grand Prix. It felt like we were leading for quite a few laps here, and then suddenly, bang, we're going to probably be 9th place by the time we get back in towards turn 1 there. I mean, really, we need some massive rule changes coming into this season, because the way those top teams have built up such a lead, you know, all of the wind tunnel testing time, everything like that just is not working at the moment. As there goes Oscar Piastri, Pierre Gasly even, there goes, George Russell, who tries to cover me off a little bit down in towards turn 1. Well, still we will with Esteban Ocon. Apparently I'm going to fight him a lot harder than the others, as Albon, He's only 3 seconds behind now, but behind him there is a huge gap back as Ocon again thought about it, and, well, again, I'm going to make his life just a living hell. I mean, how on earth has he got to run down there that time round? I don't think there's going to be a lot I can do about it. Oh, wall of death stop there between the Frenchman and the curb. I mean, that dirty air is ridiculous as well there. Huge understeer up over the top of the circuit, but a 12-second gap back to Ollie Behrman in the Alpine. Even if we fit in behind Alex Albon pretty soon, which I think we will, surely we're going to be able to hang on ahead of the Alpine towards the end of the afternoon. I'm sure they'll be happy, though, to get more points on the board, as will we stay in the range of Ocon? I think we just about have. Have we? No, we haven't. As, oh, it looks like a Hascar's gone. Kimi Antonelli at the Grand Prix. I'm surprised that's not another safety car, because he is very much parked, but apparently not. Oh, here we go. Alex Albon now. I think he's going to get a run on me back in towards turn 1.
0.4 seconds.
There goes the Williams man down the inside, and there we go, up into P8. I reckon, though, based on his pace, we might just be able to keep up with him towards the end. So maybe we're not out of this fight just yet. Well, as our front 4 drivers then about to start the last lap of the Grand Prix today, I think we were always a bit optimistic if I wanted to try and keep up with Alex Albon towards the end of this one. Both of us, though, really were able to capitalise on that early reset in this GP, because I think we both made a mistake being on the soft compounded tyre, and well, I think that's given us such the advantage that we have towards the end of the afternoon there. Liam Lawson has now jumped Ollie Behrman, so it looks like Aston Martin are going to be picking up that final points-paying position, but unless I do something stupid now, a return to the points and one that I'm very, very happy with. It really does seem, though, that Tsunoda in the other car, if we can get a few more upgrades on, that he might be able to start scoring some points as well, so we'll have to wait and see as to what we opt to do in the next few Grand Prix in terms of switching it between both of our drivers here, but I've got no idea which Ferrari it is leading the way up at the front of the order. I'm going to hazard a guess and still say it's Lando Norris right at the front of this one. I think it'd probably be better for Charles Leclerc, though, if he can win this race today and start closing down the points lead once more. But Ferrari, with Max Verstappen looking all-conquering early on, they have somehow got the jump on him come the checkered flag today. It is going to be Charles Leclerc that takes victory here in Barcelona. So a great return to the top step of the podium for our reigning world champion. Lando Norris ahead of his former teammate Oscar Piastri are rounding out your podium places there. So clearly, both of those drivers again have absolutely made the right call, as I will go spinning through the final couple of corners. Hopefully, we're not going to lose a spot to Liam Lawson here through the final corner. Absolutely park it on the exit of the final turn. We'll hang on for 9th.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory, he wins!
What a wonderful drive to see them come from far down the grid to win the race. Those days are the ones that throw the biggest challenges at you, and to stick out and win it is an incredible job.
It's time to bring out the bubbly and spray it around. It's our podium celebrations. And who gets to take the top step of the podium? Yes, it is I, Leclerc, Charles Leclerc on top.
Well, there we are then. Charles Leclerc from 4th on the grid. He will claim victory here today in Barcelona. Lando Norris in P2 ahead of Oscar Piastri, with Verstappen, Gasly, George Russell, Esteban Ocon, Albon, myself and Liam Lawson rounding out your top 10 there. Gasly, as the sole McLaren, did a very, very good job, and it does look like those cars are back competing towards where they should be once again this season. Albon, the best of the rest there, but I think we, apart from Oscar Piastri, I think we gained the most places throughout that race as well, so very, very happy with the pace we've shown. George Russell, he'll be disappointed from pole position down in P6, and Tsunoda again from 18th to 13th there. He was only 10 seconds away from the points despite a bit of a botched strategy call as Liam Lawson made a 3-stop strategy work today. Just Antonelli and Carlos Sainz that failed to see the checkered flag. Hulkenberg and Bortoletto there down in last and second to last of your finishes once more for Sauber. Drivers' Championship-wise, though, Norris now top of the table by 2 points ahead of George Russell. Charles Leclerc still in third there, just ahead of Verstappen. But, you know, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, they could all definitely still be in the fight this year. Esteban Ocon, he's kind of doing the Red Bull second driver role, isn't he? Of just dropping away from that fight towards the front. We do take a couple of points out of Sainz as well, though. And you can see Albon as well, 18 points on the board for him. Still Tsunoda in P12. But I believe, yeah, more points on the board for Liam Lawson. It still is just the V-Carbs and the Kick Sauber's yet to score this campaign. Constructors-wise, Ferrari 28 clear now of Mercedes. Red Bull still in a distant P3 ahead of McLaren, ourselves, and Williams there. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for, I believe, the Canadian Grand Prix.